Oh, hi, I mean, family. Yet another live action Disney remake. They just keep like cannibalizing themselves, right? Going back into the archive, we've had Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast and Snow White and Little Mermaid and like name a Disney animated movie that you loved in the
Dumbo,
90s.
Lady and the Tramp,
Dumbo.
remember?
Now we get Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
Finally, live action. I mean, in that there are human beings, but also, you know, Stitch is like a furry CGI concoction. So it is what it always is. If you've seen Lilo and Stitch, you have seen Lilo and Stitch. Come hang out because it is summer between this and the new Mission Impossible, the last Mission Impossible. Really big movies here for Memorial Day weekend. And we are here for you. So come hang out with us. Alonzo, what happens in Lilo and Stitch?
He's so cute and fluffy.
He is your responsibility. Got it.
We promise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking Disney should just lap itself and start making animated versions of the live action versions of the animated films and, you know, let the circle be unbroken. Yeah, so this is a live action version of Lilo and Stitch, and it's a story you know if you've seen the movie, and you should see the 2002 animated film. It's quite lovely. And it's about a young girl named Lilo. She and her older sister Nani are trying to make a go of it after the death of their parents because it's a Disney movie.
Of course. No parents here.
Exactly. But it's tricky because, like, you know, Nani's a teenager and she's trying to like keep the household together, and Lilo is a rambunctious young girl who doesn't seem to have any friends until the day Stitch enters her life. He is a furry blue toothy alien, also known as Experiment 626. Who has been deemed too dangerous to live, and they try to get rid of him, but he escapes his interplanetary captors, who of course come chasing him to this fetid backwater known as Earth, trying to get him back. And you know, Hawaiian wackiness ensues.
Yeah. This is so much like the original movie, like beat for beat and big chunks of dialogue. So if you love that and you want to see that again, you get that. But then they add to it. So it is like 20 minutes longer than the original movie in ways that don't always work. I'm super mixed on this because I feel like with animation, you can capture this like this chaotic vibe in ways that just do not translate to the live action
For sure.
remake. I had never seen Lilo and Stitch.
Wow.
I know, right? I know. So Nick and I watched it. Nick had seen it, so I went back and watched it the night before I saw the remake, and I was cackling. It is so funny.
Yeah.
There's this insane energy to it because Lilo is such a chaos agent, and she can do things, and there's like an energy, like a physical energy here that they can capture in animated form that is hard to recreate with actual human beings. And
For sure.
so it's never quite as frenetically fun, even though they do recreate like exact stuff from the original.
Yeah.
She's not quite so violent. She does not beat the crap out of a little girl in hula class.
They've toned that down a bit. But like, also one of the things that was great about Lilo and Stitch 2002 was that in a moment where everything was sort of turning Shrekward and we were really getting into the CG animated stuff, this is a movie that was hearkening back to, you know, kind of a hand-drawn watercolor style. And it really kind of, it suited the material because the material is like big, crazy, loud, knockabout slapstick, but handled in this very kind of classical style. And then here you have Stitch becoming a CG animated character in a, you know, recognizably real world. And yeah, it doesn't quite play the same, but also, and I recently went back and looked at my review of The Little Mermaid, and you know, there's this thing where they remake these movies and they feel like either kids will get mad or, you know, Disney adults will get mad if they don't hit all these beats and plot points and you know, occurrences of the original in the live action movie. So it's sort of like, rather than taking the animated film as a jumping off point and doing something kind of playing around with it, you wind up with this weird sort of like souvenir. It's like when you see an animated film and then you go see the stage show in the theme park where people are in costumes trying to pretend to be, you know, the animated things. It's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. But it is the same kind of thing where like they want to play it safe, right? They don't want to alienate anybody to the detriment of the storytelling. Although it's a lot of people who are, involved from the original. Chris Sanders is the voice of Stitch again. During all the voices, family, Ohio means family. Dean Fleischer Camp directed this, who did Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, which I loved. And I don't see any of like the delicacy of that here, but it's a different assignment. It's a totally different kind of animation.
This definitely smacks of like Disney being like, oh, this guy is hot and this is a cool animated film, and then hiring him and just like dumping all the Disney on him. Like, I don't think there's a moment where you get the sense that these movies were made by the same guy.
Right, individuality here. But the casting is great.
Yes.
And I had never seen either of these actresses. Sydney is Agudong, who plays Nani, and then is Maia Kealoha. And this is her first film. And they're both great, because think about it. For a lot of what Lilo is doing with this CGI rendered Stitch, like she's acting opposite a tennis ball or something with a bunch of ping pong balls on it. Like, and she's a little girl. So to make this her first big role speaks to her poise and her innate ability. And then the actress who plays Nani, like, brings a real groundedness to this. And she's got dramatic depth, but also she can do the physicality of the comedy. She's great.
She's great. Like, I had never heard of Sydney Agudong before, but man, like, I hope if nothing else comes out of this movie, the casting directors are like, yes, this young lady, let's get her in these other films and TV shows, because she's dynamite. She can
do it all. She's beautiful.
And then, I wish Zach Galafianakis and Billy Magnussen as these sort of human forms of the aliens is a fun idea, and they get moments to really get crazy, but the movie does not get nearly enough out of them as it could have, I feel like.
For sure. The first time you see them in the human form, Billy Magnussen is doing this like gonzo, like really goofy physical stuff that is so fun, so playful. So to see somebody who looks like him, who has these like crazy musical theater abilities, play just a total goofball and let loose, like, that was great. I love the costume design for him.
Yes.
Because every scene he's wearing some new thing to blend in as a human, because he minored in like human textiles or something like that.
Yeah, like he's the Earth expert among the aliens, but he's always getting stuff wrong. And he winds up like, I'm assuming it's a woman's suitcase, I guess. So,
I don't know.
Yeah. But like you get a taste of what he and Galafianakis can do, and you're just like, oh, we could have parked on this a little more, I bet.
Yeah, I did think it was a nice touch though to have Tia Carrere have a role as the social worker, since she was the voice of Nani in the original animated film. So there were like nice updates.
Amy Hill,
here and there.
I love Amy Hill.
Yeah, nice to see her. She's really funny in this. Like, it's just like nice little updates here and there, but for the most part, it is so like painfully faithful to the original in a way that feels really safe, that it was frustrating. So I'm kind of mixed on it. I guess you should see it. If you saw the animated film and you love it, I guess go see this,
Yeah, I always come down to a thing of like, no matter how good these movies are, and this one is better than, Snow White, certainly, and better than a lot of the other ones.
Better than Dumbo.
Yeah. Ultimately, it's like, Disney has already made a movie with this title that is a better movie. So why are we here? And this movie doesn't ever quite answer that question for me, but it does have a lot that's worth taking a look at. I gave it a 6.
I was about to say 6 as well. Yeah, like it's better than halfway good, but not all the way good.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for something for the whole family that is, not 3 hours long this weekend for Memorial Day, this is a fine use of your time.
Sure, why not?